What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today's the day where I'm going to be doing whole brake overhaul, brake job on my delsol. I'm on my way to go see Zach at work. Being that I have my car at my apartment now, I am limited to the amount of tools that I have. Like, I have some stuff. I brought my jackets back there and a bunch of rosemary. Don't ask questions. I'm going to meet up with him right now to borrow, I think, like an impact and just whatever I can get my hands on, just to make the job a little bit easier, because I know that I have some wrenches and I think I have a 3/8 ratchet and a special key for my lug nuts. Other than that, and the jack, but besides that, I don't really have much. It's only a brake job, so the amount of tools that I need are pretty limited, but I'm going to get what I can from him and start working on the car. Ever since he put the coilovers on his car is definitely a lot lower than before. He just put some new wheels on here too. I'm not big on the 3-piece wheel world, but they look good. He's tucking. That's kind of what we're looking at. Still rocking the dual Tomes. This is the side skirt that I fixed for him before. It still has to be pushed in place, but there's a huge crack down the side. It wasn't sitting right. So I went through, similar to what I did to his front bumper, and it's holding up. He's going to be wrapping the car soon, so that's why he's kind of in a rush to get the bumper done, which I still have to wet sand. I'm going to probably do that later tonight. Still waiting for him. Hopefully he'll be out here soon.
17, I don't have one of these, and a 6-point. I'm sorry. Be careful.
It's all right. I appreciate you.
1 second. 19's already on there.
Nice. I think that should be it. I don't know. Oh, are these ratcheting? Oh, no, they're not.
This is
A rock?
it's right in my driveway. And that's where it'll live forever.
What are you trying to do?
Well, look down there. Look, come here.
What are you looking at?
So I put a self-tapper in up here because this one kept backing itself out. That one was the first one I put in, and that one was backing itself out. So I was like, oh, let me put another one. And now you can see that there's not one.
Why don't you put a self-tapper there, and then get a metal zip tie or something like that to clamp it in place. If you have the 2 screws on there, they only back out because there's no tension on them. You get tension on it, then they'll probably stay.
I have the connector up there too. And we'll just shit you read it through and
Yeah. Looks like you know what you got to do now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you. We got our tools. And now it's time to head back and get everything set up and get to work. Living up on the 3rd floor definitely sucks. I got a backpack full of stuff. Hopefully I don't forget anything, so then I don't have to run back up here again. At least it's nice out. The sun's out and everything, and it's really not too hot. There's a slight breeze, so I can't really complain. I haven't started the car in about, 2 weeks. I doubt that it's gonna crank over first try. I have the jump pack with me just in case. All right, like I said, I doubt it. I might even just push it. All right, looks like we're jumping it. I smell gas, so that's always lovely. All right. I don't know what it is with this jump pack. Never works. I got the CRV hooked up and Oh, this car really gives me headaches. All right, well, I got the car running, finally. I don't know what it is. I checked the alternator, checked the starter, everything seems to be working how it should. I'm not sure what the issue is, but it's extremely annoying every time I try to drive the car. It never wants to start. So I love that for me. So as you can see, rotors are whatever. The front rotors were new when I got done with everything else in here. So I'm not really going to be worrying about those, just the calipers in the front. The pads still have a lot of life left in them. It's just mainly the rear calipers, pads, and rotors that really needed it. So this one, just going to get the calipers. And when I say these calipers are crusty, they are crusty. Not to mention that the bleeders on the front, okay. The ones on the rear, they're all stripped, they're all shot. They're all getting replaced today. Like I have here, one of these braided lines. I also have those for the rear as well. So it'll be all nice and pretty, and it'll definitely be better than factory. And this is my handy dandy little brake fluid catcher. The goal is to make as much as you can in there. If you spill some, then so be it. I'm just gonna let that drip and continue about my business. There's the old, here's the new. All right, so we got the one side on. You can kind of see it looks purple, but I went through, I took the wire wheel to the, to the rotor and everything, so it looks good. Now I'm gonna go bang out the other side, and then we'll get going to the rear, because like I said, the ones back there are dusted, and I should have changed these a long time ago. So upon doing this brake job, I noticed that my ball joint, I haven't looked at the other side yet, but that's just lovely. Let's see what the other side is like, if it's any better. It's better, but oh well, that's a project for another day. I always wondered why when you get calipers, they don't give you a new banjo bolt for whatever reason. All right, so I got both sides on. Very easy, pretty straightforward. Seeing that ball joint was, kind of made me feel a little upset, but it's all right. Could be worse, I guess. I did notice that there was some transmission fluid underneath the transmission, so it was leaking somewhere. I tightened up one thing that was kind of loose, but I guess we'll go from there. Fronts are done. I'm gonna get everything buttoned up, and then we'll jack up the rear and start doing that, because that's gonna be fun. The rear has the screws in there still. I don't personally put them in there. I don't find a need. Some people swear by it, whatever. I'm not really too worried about it. Tackle this, we'll tackle the rear. And then once I get all that done, that's when I will move into doing the master cylinder, because I did get a replacement one of those. I must say so. I think it's time to get some new lug nuts too. These ones are getting pretty crusty. So like I said before, these rears are crusty. Very, very gross. Calipers are shot. So thankfully, I'm taking those off. And like I said, these, I have a feeling are gonna give me some trouble, but we'll see. I'm very surprised. Those two just came out like nothing. Let's test our luck with this side too. I bet you these rotors haven't been replaced in like 20 years. And you know, this is originally an upstate New York car. So this is really blowing my mind. But this is the moment of truth. The last one always gives you the most trouble. Let's see. Too good. This car's done me wrong more times than one. I'm gonna take that as a W. Now the only other real pressing issue I can foresee happening is getting these brake lines off. Like I said, I have these that I would like to replace it with. It doesn't look too promising, so we're gonna give that a whack. And I have a very strong feeling that this is going to be the limiting factor for me getting this brake job done in a timely manner. I've been trying to get this little brake line broke free so I can put the braided lines on. Haven't been having any luck, so I'm just gonna leave it for now. These can go on another time. My main area of concern obviously is this. I'll just worry about that for now, and then the other lines can go on another time, just like the ball joint. I also don't have a... All right, so there's this kid in my apartment complex who is into Corvettes. It's that one kid. Me and him became friends, and he's here to the rescue, gonna bring me some tools. What up, dude?
I'm about to start working on my car too.
Yeah?
So I'm gonna just bring my toolbox that you need.
So then I'll move my CRV.
You're probably good, honestly.
Well, no, I'm saying then we can talk. We don't have to have a barrier, you know what I mean?
I got you.
These rears are kicking my ass. I need to go get my torch, and then hopefully I can get a couple of these bolts free that hold on the bracket. Hopefully we can get this job done. It's now 5:30. I've been working on the rears for about an hour and a half, and I'm tired. I haven't been recording much, honestly, just because I've been fighting it for so long. I don't even know if I'm gonna have time to do the master cylinder today. That might have to be something that I do tomorrow or this weekend even. We'll see. But it is something that has to get done. This is one of the pads that I just took off. So, love that. All right, we got one. I fought tooth and nail to get this freaking bolt off, but definitely not reusing this hardware. So I'm probably gonna pack it up for a little bit. Luke and I are probably gonna go to Harbor Freight, and I might stop at Lowe's, get some new hardware for these brackets, because these things are absolutely cooked. So's the hardware. But we got one off. Now I just need to worry about fighting to get off the e-brake cable, and then we'll go from there. But fronts are done, one side's off, and then I need to fight the other side still. Look at this thing. So there's that. And then here's one bolt. Thing was pretty close to rounding off. Dude, look how dirty my hands are for a damn brake job.
Yeah.
The current state of the car, I got 1 out of 2 bolts off on this bracket. It's just this bottom one that's fighting me. And I got both off on this side. So now Luke and I, we're gonna go to Harbor Freight. We'll go grab a cutoff wheel, gotta grab some hardware, and then hopefully finish up getting everything on the car tonight. And then I'll worry about bleeding the brakes and doing the master cylinder tomorrow. All right, so we made it back from our little trip. I got my cutoff wheel that I need. I'm gonna try to get that bolt off. I also, trusty McDonald's, chef's kiss. But now, with what little daylight we have left, I'm going to try to get that bracket off, cut this bolt free, you know, bash off the bracket with the hammer, which is fine because I got new ones. I got new hardware, or new bolts to go in there as well. Managed to get the bracket off finally. I cut off the head of the bolt and then I ground it down and just basically bashed it with the hammer, and now it's off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the calipers on, and then I'm just gonna go ahead, call it a night, and then I'll come back to it tomorrow. All right, everybody, it's the next day. I just went to AutoZone, grabbed some more hardware that I need so I can connect the e-brake bracket back onto the caliper. If I manage to make it through all this traffic and make it home within the next, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes, that would be great. Once I get back, I'm gonna get the car jacked up again, then get everything else finalized with the car, and then hopefully later tonight I can get somebody to come help me bleed the brakes. Tomorrow's Saturday, Cars and Coffee is tomorrow. And it'd be nice to bring the car out, considering that I haven't really drove it much in the last, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks. If not, I'll still go. I just won't bring the car. But the goal is to get the car done, bleed the brakes, all that, take it on a test drive before tomorrow morning. So I'll see you back at the car. All right, so yesterday I got to a pretty good stopping point. It took me way longer than I would have liked for me to get there. I got the calipers on. They're just roughly held in place. But yesterday I was really fighting with this car, and this is why. So this is the e-brake cable. There was that little piece right there. There's a little pin that went through it. It was seized in there. I was fighting that. And then I was also fighting the other side, getting the bracket off, which I might have thrown it away already. I think I did because I didn't want to look at it anymore. I also really wanted to get these brackets off, get them cleaned up, maybe paint them. But, you know, given the current state that they are in, it looks like they're going to stay on there. So, which it's not a huge deal. I'm going to clean them up. Going to hit it with the wire brush, hit it with the wire wheel, and some brake cleaner just to clean it up a little bit, because when putting these new parts on, you don't want to just keep using crusty stuff. At least clean it up. So originally, to hold the e-brake in place, like I said, there was a little pin with a cotter pin. I don't even know what to call it. There's a cotter pin, a little pin to hold it in place. So instead of doing that, because that was kind of a pain, I got some little bolts. Originally they were about that long. I ground them down a little bit shorter because I was running into an issue. The bottom of the bolt was hitting, and I wouldn't have been able to tighten it down all the way. So I just ground down the bolts a little bit, just so I would have no more clearance issues trying to get that bolt to fit. Should work, so let's see. I also put a little bit of blue thread locker on there just because I'm not torquing it down all the way, otherwise it wouldn't be able to move. That's good. Now I just got to hook up the brake line and throw in the pads, and this side's pretty much done. So I went ahead, got all the brakes done in the rear, so I started moving on to getting the old master cylinder out. Now I'm getting the new one in place. I keep dropping and losing the little brass washers that go in between the banjo bolts. I need some for the rear. I just lost them for the ones up here. So once I'm done getting this in, I'm gonna have to go get more. All right, so I ended up getting a couple little packages of these copper washers, not brass. So I apologize for that before, but I ended up getting 2 little packs. I still think I'm 1 short, which is pretty unfortunate, but hopefully I can find one maybe scattered, you know, outside the car or something. The goal is to, when I get out of work tonight, to try to bleed the brakes. That's where I'm on my way now. I'm on my way into work. So hopefully I get out at a decent time, and then I'll have enough time to bleed the brakes, and then we'll go to Cars and Coffee in the morning. But either way, I'm gonna end it for this video. I don't want to drag it on too much. I mean, it's just a simple brake job, but honestly, it's something that should have been done a while ago. So that's my bad for not doing it, especially when I took care of the front half of the car when I did the engine bay and everything. But all that matters is that it's getting taken care of now. Maybe in the near future, I might have to get new e-brake brackets and cables. You know, maybe I'll just run all new brake lines to the rear so I can have nice new fittings on there and everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The car has definitely beat me up once again, so the delsol, I would say, definitely has like a winning title against me. You know, every time something bad happens, it's always a lesson learned, more or less, so you gotta count your blessings, right? You know the deal. Like the video if you liked it, leave a comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.